My name is Darla Nelson. I'm actually a certified life and health coach, and I specialize in helping women with their thoughts, the 6 inches between our ears, helping women with their thoughts towards their health, their life, and their relationships. And I personally believe that we must choose wellness and we must choose you. It's a choice. And so, what I want to do today is I want to share a little bit about what I believe is so powerful, and that is the power of our words. So I'm often known as a habit changer. And I believe that if we focus on creating healthy habits in our lives, that we can transform our lives in every single way, every part of our life. Many of you are familiar with Bob Doyle, I'm sure. He teaches that we have to create our own neural pathways to actually have lasting change. We must change the wiring. I like to refer to it as flipping the switch. We must flip the switch. So we get to choose, who am I going to be? Who am I going to be? So if you keep talking to yourself in a negative way, you cannot expect different results. Our wiring has been with us a long time, right? Our lifetime. And so it's time to change that. So I love the idea of neuroplasticity. Our brains can actually change and grow. So because of that, I'm going to talk to you today about the power of our words. Could your life, I want you to think about this, could your life be forever changed by the impact of the words of one sentence? Words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity, and we can choose to either use this force constructively with words of encouragement, or we can use it destructively, right? Using words of despair. Think about this. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and even to humble. I shared this online recently that the most important communication is not always between people as much as it is within people, right? That's 6 inches between our ears. So we must start filling our minds with creative and healthy thoughts. So then when the old fears and the hates and the worries that have haunted you for so long, when they try to edge their way back in, they will in effect find a sign on the door of your mind that says occupied. They may struggle, right? They may struggle for admission into your mind, for they've lived there a very long time. But the new and the healthy thoughts that you've taken in will now be stronger, and you can actually repulse the negative ones. I've proven this in my life. It took time, but I have proven that I can repulse the negative thoughts. Don't you think that's important kind of right now during this crazy time of life? So I want you to feel the difference, okay? I want you to try this. I want you to say the word hate. Say the word hate out loud to yourself. How does that feel in your heart? Okay? Now I want you to say the word love. How do you feel? Do you feel the difference? Then I want you to understand that there is power, right? Even in that example, hate versus love, in that one, those two words. So it's good to remember that your words become your thoughts become your emotions, and your emotions actually determine what you will follow and do. We often think about the words we say to others, but how often are you stopping and considering the words that you are speaking internally, even to yourself? We often don't pay attention, right, to the inner dialogue that's going on in our heads. And we stay ignorant to the fact that, oh my gosh, this success or failure begins right here. It begins right here in our self-talk and our self-thought. We must grasp the potential of the power that exists within our own minds. When we practice, when we have a positive mental attitude, first to ourselves, then to others, everybody else in our family, the people we work with, the people that in school, all the things, when we practice that, then that is when we begin to have lasting success, lasting transformation in our lives. So I encourage you to use your words as tools. That's what they are. Let's talk about it. Have you ever told yourself, I'm fat, I feel ugly, I look ugly, I'm never going to make more money, I don't deserve to be successful? Guess what? I could raise my hand on all of those. That was me. What if instead you started asking yourself questions to prove otherwise? Our brains, when we are asked the right question, will search until it finds the answer. So instead, say, why is it so easy for me to lose weight? Why do I believe I'll be successful and that my income will increase? Do you see the difference? But more importantly, do you feel the difference? When we ask the right question, our brain will start answering the question. Just as when we make a negative statement or we ask a negative question, our brain literally looks for validation as to why it's true. So is it true when we ask the right question? If we ask the wrong, it's looking for validation. If we ask the right, our brain is looking for validation. So I want you to ask yourself the right question. Benjamin Franklin once said, remember, not only to say the right thing in the right place, but far more difficult still, is to leave unsaid the wrong thing at the tempting moment. I think he was wise. So choose the words that you speak very carefully because they have the potential of accomplishing nearly anything or destroying nearly anything in your life. One negative comment can ruin a person's day, and it could honestly ruin their life. The way you speak, not just the attitude, but also the tone, reflects the person you are and impacts everything around you. It can greatly contribute to your success or your non-success, both in business and in your personal life. So next time, I want you to think before you speak. It's going to make all the difference in the world. As I coach people, I'm often told about words that were spoken to someone that maybe the person speaking to them doesn't even remember saying them. And yet the person remembers hearing them years, decades later, and they still hold on to them. Stop and think about that for a minute. Were you ever told something that you're still holding on to? Were you told you're fat, you're an idiot, you'll never amount to much? Just shut up? Kids are to be seen and not heard? All the things? Were you told any of those things? These are words that we can work on releasing from our lives so that they no longer hold power over us. That is what I help women do. I help them to release the negative thoughts, the negative words that they've been holding on to so that they no longer hold them captive. People often don't realize that the words have power to keep them from success that they're striving for, whether success in business, whether it's success in losing weight. I have loved watching people transform their lives when they are able to let go and without shaming and blaming the person who said it. That is key. That is super key. No shaming, no blaming, but rather taking 100%, yes, I said 100%, responsibility for our response to the experience. As words can be used negatively, they can also build someone up. So I want to share a couple stories about myself. 27 years ago, actually almost 28 now, my brother passed away. I was trying to be a young mom. I had two small boys. I was sad. I didn't even want to change their diapers. And yet a good friend called me and told me to hang up the phone, go into my room and pray and beg God to help me move on. So I did that. And I remember the immediate feeling of peace that came over me. Years later, this same person experienced something really hard in her life. Her brother tried committing suicide. And I remember the words that she had spoke to me years prior, and I remember now I was encouraging her to do the same thing. Hang up the phone, go in your room, beg God to help you. And I was sharing words of encouragement to her. And guess what, ladies? I was amazed to find out that she had no recollection of ever having said that to me. And yet it changed my life. See, and I also remember, let's look at the opposite way though. I remember a time when someone said something really hurtful to me and it crushed me. Do you relate? Raise your hands if you relate. Comment below if you relate. I chose to show this person grace because one of the things I always like to remember is that hurting people hurt people. She was hurting, therefore she hurt me. And yet 7 years later, when the subject came up, I was shocked to find out that she too had no recollection or belief that she's like, I said that? Oh my goodness, I can't believe I said that. And I was thankful that I hadn't allowed the hurtful words to ruin our relationship and to rather show love and kindness. So you see, our words really do matter, don't they? A person can speak many words a minute, and several thousand in an hour. You can imagine how many words the average person speaks in a day, and some estimates are that women speak twice as many words than men. I think that's true. We could fill a library in a lifetime. If we did, I want you to think about what would the title of your book be? The tongue and the words we speak have a powerful influence on ourselves and on others, right? So I want you to stop for a moment and ask yourself, what kind of questions are you asking? Let's practice it together. Why is it important to ask why questions versus how? People often ask me that question. It's because there's two basic forces that govern our human behavior. The why is your motive for doing something, and the how is your method. What do you think is more powerful, the how or the why? Have you ever known how to do something but didn't actually do it? Kind of like losing weight, right? Have you ever known how to lose weight? There's millions of programs out there, right? We all know how, and yet we don't often follow through. So you see why the why questions are much more powerful. It's important. Why am I able to lose weight? Why am I able to make healthy food choices? Why am I able to drink my water? Because you're going to validate the reason that you made those choices. Why am I able to find a better job? Why am I able to make more money? If you say, why am I so fat? That's negative. There's no energy in that. It's got negative energy. Energy begets energy. You have to ask yourself the right question. Some of my favorite quotes on this subject are, be careful with your words because once they are said, they can only be forgiven, not forgotten. And another thing is be mindful because when it comes to your words, a string of some that don't mean much to you may stick with someone else for a lifetime. Don't mix bad words with a bad mood. Have you ever done that? Have you ever, you're like having a bad mood for some reason and you say something to someone, you're like, oh my gosh, what did I just say? Because you know what? You have opportunities to change your mood, but you'll never get the opportunity to replace the words that you spoke. I'm a spiritual person, Christian woman, and I often refer to scriptures. I'm going to share one right now. It's not what goes in your mouth that defiles you. You're defiled by the words that come out of your mouth. If you want to enjoy life and see many happy days, keep your tongue from speaking evil and your lips from telling lies. When we take control of our lips, if we take control of our words, the things that we speak, the things that we think about, our lives change. Women often don't realize that they're holding on to negative emotions, negative words, whether they heard it from someone else or themselves. And until they're able to recognize this and release it, they cannot lose weight. They cannot gain the energy. They cannot mend the relationship, get the perfect job, all the things. You know why? Because in their subconscious, they are holding on to all the stuff. I want to help people release that. That is the beauty of what I do, is helping women to help themselves, to know freedom. So one of the things I am going to put the link in the comment section below is I have offered to do an incredible giveaway. My name is Coach Darla Nelson. I've been doing this for years. I absolutely love the connections that I've made with all of you. Have a fabulous day, and remember to be filled with gratitude and love for all that we have. Thank you so much.